other thing that I have seen some people do as well, and again, this is partly around content creation as well, is that, I'm sure that you try and foster this as well as we do with our members, is around, testimonials. And for a lot of clinics really kind of struggle with that. I know to systemize the process and get a lot of testimonials. And if it is done, it tends to be more in a written format. But I think now, again, is the perfect opportunity to use, especially something like Zoom, where, again, you could maybe interview a few of your top clients. Because, again, I think people are now much more comfortable than they ever were with looking at this type of medium compared to even just a couple of months ago. And just look at, some of your top clients who are happy to talk about their journey and their experience with you, and do a little like this, a one-on-one interview, record it. You've got some unbelievably powerful content then, haven't you, for your website and social media?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you go back to sort of Cialdini's, the 6 principles, there's 3 areas. So the first area is relationship, which is reciprocity and liking. Second area, so if the person's not answering your phone calls because there's no relationship, if they're engaging with you but they're not a little bit unsure, if they're a bit unsure about it, that's uncertainty, and you fix that through authority and consensus, which is testimonials. And I think a lot of the thing is people sometimes assume people won't do it, and they ask in an unconfident way. Whereas if you just make sure that you ask and we can get into the process of it, you can as well. You can ask. Someone might give you a case study. The big ask might be, could I do a short interview with you?
Yeah.
If they go, oh well, no. Then you say, oh, okay. Well, could you just give us a Google review then? And because when someone says no to you, there's a moment of power. As long as you ask in that moment, you don't retreat. If you ask in that moment, they feel compelled to say yes, because as human beings, we don't like saying no. We want people to like us. So, if they've said no to you once already, and then you make a smaller request, they're a lot more likely to say yes. So it's just about getting into the habit and having these scripts for the team to work to that really makes a huge difference.
That's a great tip, actually, around that. And I think partly there is then an element of training around that, especially if you've got a bigger team, because obviously it's the individual practitioners that have that personal relationship with the individual person. And if they've got a really good relationship, it is, almost that request for that, how was it for you and what difference did it make to your life, which is really what you're looking at. You're not looking at the emotional aspects of that, aren't you, rather than just, oh, my nose looked a little straighter or something like that. You're looking at what difference that made to their lives. But you're right, I think if you approach it and go for that big thing, but then if they don't go, if they're uncomfortable with that, then the written, testimonial on whatever your favorite platform is, I don't know, Google Plus or whatever. I mean, there's so many different platforms out there, aren't there? Do you actually have, this is just an aside anyway, like any centralized portal for review dissemination that you would recommend?
Other than the practitioner itself, I can't think of one. There's once someone's given you, obviously, if you get someone to do an online platform, like say Facebook or Google Maps, that kind of thing, you can then take that and use it on your website. Just ask for it. Sure. So I'd always get them to do that rather than writing. If they write you one, then great. But if you can get to actually put it physically on one of the platforms, that's a much better route in for you, because then you can use it in different places. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Excellent. So one of the other things that I know we were just discussing before as well was looking at, different platforms apart from just maybe your website and traditional social media channels for content. And obviously YouTube is one big, and it's the second biggest search engine, isn't it, as well? And also the other thing as well that I think is interesting around YouTube is that it's on most smart TVs now as well. And it's quite interesting that a lot of younger people apparently, watch more YouTube than they may be doing all of the hundreds of other channels that are on the TV. And of course, it operates like a search engine where people, type in questions and then come up with optimized content. So do you have any comments around like the use of YouTube and whether or not there's an opportunity there for clinics?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, because we were talking about, if you're producing video content, then YouTube would just be is an obvious place to put it. There's a few things you can do. Obviously, you want to optimize it, as in the search, the tags and the keywords that you put on there. And if you really want, it's just about consistency, though. If you can do 2 videos a week for YouTube, don't expect instant results. The results will start happening over 6, 12 months. Also, because I did a course on YouTube, and every platform is different, so you've got to be aware of what each platform wants. So with YouTube, you can start the video, you tell them what they're getting, and then your logo can flash up just for 1 second, and then you give them the content. At the end, you want to put the subscribe button in there and suggest other videos they can go and look at within your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
that sort of thing starts to make the difference. And also having an introduction video. You can also put social media links in the header and stuff. And if a good thing to do is, if you look at some of the big YouTube channels, you can sort of reverse engineer a lot of what they're doing. But the main thing around that is just consistency. Obviously, we talked about captions before. I have captions. I just burn them into all of my videos, so people have to see the writing anyway. But because it just saves me time, because I'm putting it across multiple platforms. And you've also, like I said, you've got to consider that people who are hard of hearing or maybe deaf, and they're potential clients too. So these sorts of things are really important in your videos.
Yeah, I think that's a really good tip. I mean, I think if you're going to do this, then you might as well make sure that people can consume that content in every way possible, not just by hearing it, but by reading it as well, which is good. Yeah, I must admit, I was doing a little bit of work on this the other month, and just doing some sort of searches in YouTube as well, and finding that a lot of the results were coming up around the kind of the searches I was looking for relating to our industry were American videos. So I think they're well ahead of the game there compared to here. And so I did one just looking at does laser hair removal work forever? And it was all American content, all of it, the whole first few pages. So I actually did something a little different. Instead of doing a video of me answering this, because I was doing this really more as an experiment, I just put together 4 very simple slides in PowerPoint. And I'm sure you know this as well, Alan, that in doing that, there's a nice little record function in there now as well. So you can record the voice and then just basically export that as a video. So I just put 4 slides in looking at answering that question, is laser hair removal, does laser hair removal work forever? Looking at permanent hair reduction versus permanent hair removal. Within a week, because I'd optimized it around that title, it had come up in the first 3 searches. So it shows how quickly that can happen.
Yeah, definitely. And there you go. You talk about the American market. If you're looking for content, go and find a really good YouTube channel over there and swipe and deploy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, produce your own stuff. Don't just take their videos.
Yeah. Well, that's right. So yeah, I mean, the other thing that we've been doing as well, we launched last month is Consulting Room Content Creation Challenge. So although the Consulting Room has a lot of text content, we don't have a lot of video content. And so what we're really trying to do is to get some really good answers to questions in a video format from people who really understand their subjects. And there's some fantastically experienced practitioners in the UK that are at least as good, if not better, than any people anywhere in the world. So we're kind of trying to harness that. And we thought, especially within lockdown, where they're not busy, it is one of those things that they can do at their home with a phone and literally just answer that. What's the best filler for thin lips, for instance? There's a million questions out there. And then do it on their phone, upload it, and then also got a website and social media as well. So we've got a little kind of competition going around that. The top 10 videos, we are offering 10 free memberships to, and for the top video, we're offering £1,000. We're calling it a freedom voucher. So we're getting close to it now, but I'm sure a lot of people, when they can get out, we want to go away for a few days. So we thought £1,000 was kind of a nice amount of money to go to a nice hotel and just enjoy it. So if anyone wants to enter that, it's consultingroom.com/challenge. And so, yeah, by all means, absolutely. But it has to relate to the individual treatments and procedures, or even product brands as well that are on the site. And if anyone goes to the consulting room, they'll see them. There's a lot on there. So is there anything else that you think that people really should be looking at, especially during lockdown, where they've got this next sort of 3 or 4 weeks maybe before we start again around content creation, that you think would be really good for people to do?
I mean, it's about having a plan. I mean, I see a lot of businesses. They're typically, when I go into businesses, they have a business plan. It's about this thick, and like they blow the dust off. They haven't looked at it for ages. You may just chuck it in the bin. You want a plan for your business, and it should be like 1 or 2 pages maximum, but it's a living, breathing document. So do the same for your content. Plan out what you're going to do, break it down to sections. I mean, did we talk about writing a book?
Yeah, and around sort of maybe recording it and then getting it revved, which I think is a great idea. And as you say, then you've got bits of content for blog posts and social, all sorts of other things as well. So
it's a nice position as well. Again, you're starting to build that relationship. If someone buys the book or you send somebody a book as a gift, it's just starting to build that relationship. So, with the plan, I definitely think around questions people ask. Write a list, as big as list as you possibly can, and answer people's questions that way.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. And so, in general, just outside of the content marketing side of things, what are your thoughts over the next sort of couple of months with clinics, and what's the kind of key advice that you're giving to your customers at the moment about preparing for relaunch?
Yeah, just communicate. Your top clients, I'll be doing it one-on-one, as in one-on-one videos, that kind of thing. Show them that what to expect, what precautions you've taken, and how you're going to protect them. That'll really put a lot of people's minds at ease. It's the psychology behind what's going on. I mean, there is fear out there, but I think it's going to be overcome by people who are fed up of being stuck in the house. And I mean, my missus has cut my hair twice now. She hasn't done a bad job, but I've seen some horrific ones.
It's a little bit easy, it just gets buzzed.
So it's going to be, but I think that there is going to be quite a big bounce back. And certainly my clients I've been supporting, the one I was talking to the other day, and they've got like 150 clients on a waiting list ready to come back, so we'll just communicate with them and start thinking. The content creation is great for developing leads. You know what I mean? So there's going to be lots and lots of people. And I think what this has caused as well is everybody has gone online. Even people who wouldn't have, like a few months ago, wouldn't have dreamed about it. They're now online and they're asking questions. So if you can answer their questions, then you're going to be sort of quids in.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Alan. I really appreciate your time. And I know you're very busy. And have a great weekend.
Right. Cheers. And you're on. Bye.
Hi there, don't forget to check out our other videos. Also, make sure you like, subscribe and comment. And if you do have any questions, please reach out. Also, access your free clinic growth pack over at www.thetopcliniccoach.com.